Were you intoxicated?
I was not. It had nothing to do with it. I didn't drink anything. I never saw anything in front of my windshield, ever. And so it did show that on the tape as well. I don't know if the person jumped in front of the road. They also saw on the tape that I never put my brakes on, indicating that I didn't know I hit anything. But I never saw anything. I had no clue that's what happened until the next morning.
A Waterbury family is without a father, brother, and son after a hit-and-run crash over the weekend. Tonight, we're getting a closer look at the woman who police say left him in the street to die. Channel 3 Waterbury Bureau Chief Audrey Russo is live outside Superior Court with more. Audrey?
Police say that they saw the victim, 34-year-old Christopher Coleman, on surveillance video, stumbling and falling into the road wearing dark clothing the night he died. Now, in that same warrant, a friend of driver Christine McQueenie told police that she thought her friend was slurring her words and maybe was intoxicated. That same friend telling police that Christine thought she had hit a pothole. 57-year-old Christine McQueenie looking shaken, trying to hold it together as she faces a judge with cuffs on for the first time ever.
Ms. McQueenie is 57 years old. She has no criminal record. I don't believe that she's a player.
And the wheels of justice moved quickly in this case, perhaps far too quickly. She killed him on March 4th, 2024, and already up for parole September of 2025. Now, this hit and run homicide case, it's different than others that we have seen. She does have that argument and video footage where he stumbled into the road. It was a dark, rainy night. It seemed he was laying on the ground. And some might say, look, that can happen to anybody, but don't feel badly for this woman. It's not about what you do at the time of the accident. It's how you act afterwards. She ran from the scene. She insisted that it was only a pothole. She claimed that she did nothing wrong. And even here at this hearing shows so little remorse, so little empathy for the 34-year-old father, son, brother who she took from this world. It will never cease to amaze me watching those who come up for parole without the ability to have insight or compassion for the damage and pain that they have caused. But let's jump in to this Connecticut parole hearing.
My name is Christine McQueenie, 447528.
Thank you. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Steve McQueenie, inmate number 447528. She is serving a sentence of 8 years suspended after 3 years with 8 years probation for one count of evading responsibility involving death. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of July 18, 2025. There is there is victim input in the case. There is an offender accountability plan that has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed the warrant. Utilizing the warrant, the offender's overall score for recidivating falls within the low range. Ms. McQueenie, this is your opportunity to tell the board why you think you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Good morning. Well, honestly, I don't even know what happened, but I'm very, very sorry for what happened for the family. I was a bit of a mess in the beginning when it happened because I had no idea I hit anything. So I've done everything I could in here to be a decent inmate. I have a job. I'm on the waiting list for the Pursue program. I don't know what else to tell you. I've never been in trouble, so the whole thing was new to me.
Okay.
So I don't know what to say. I've never done this before.
All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and begin with the questions that we've prepared for you based on the documents that have been available to us. We'll discuss your case after we have input from the Office of Victim Services, and then we'll give you our decision.
Okay.
You ready to proceed?
Sure.
Okay. We'll begin questions with my colleague, Mr. Zarkoff.
Good morning, Mrs. McQueenie.
Good morning.
So I understand your position is that you did not know that you hit someone when you were driving?
I did not. I thought I had a pothole.
Were you intoxicated?
I was not. It had nothing to do with it. I didn't drink anything. I never saw anything in front of my windshield, ever. And so it did show that on the tape as well. I don't know if the person jumped in front of the road. They also saw on the tape that I never put my brakes on, indicating that I didn't know I hit anything. But I never saw anything. I had no clue that's what happened until the next morning. I even drove past the incident with my car because I had to turn around because I was dropping it off for a girlfriend.
Well, what do you think is your responsibility in what happened?
What do I think was my
What is your
responsibility?
responsibility? Yeah.
Well, exactly what I did. As soon as I found out what happened, I went back to the police station and turned myself in and let them know that I had no idea I hit anything.
Okay. You have a DOC alcohol and drug score 4. That's out of 5. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Oh, maybe because I'm on methadone. I came in on methadone. I've been clean off opioids from a doctor for 5 years. So I came in clean. I haven't taken any opioids. I was addicted to prescription medication thanks to a doctor. But I don't know. I don't know anything about the 4 or 5s. Nobody told me anything like that.
And you have not been able to do any programs in the facility, right?
No, they just sent me something for a program that's supposed to start on Tuesday. New Thoughts.
Okay. New Thoughts is starting on
But I've
Tuesday?
taken I've taken all the classes that I could take within, my building. The
What about
groups that they had.
What about AA and NA meetings? Have you done those in the past?
Yeah, within my group, I did when I first got here. I was in their recovery group that they had every week. But of course, I've been at.
How do you
I've
spend your
been
time incarcerated?
through them. I'm the common area worker in my building. So I've had a job practically since I got in here because I was the tier worker first and then the common area worker. And then, like I said, I was waiting for the pursuit program, which if you're not familiar, it's the job that you can work outside of the building. So you can make money and save it while you're here. And I'm accepted into that program as well.
When
But it
does that
hasn't
start?
started yet. It
know
hasn't
when it
started
starts?
yet. I don't know. I've been waiting for 6 months. I've been told that I've been accepted, but they just gave me new hire papers yesterday, as a matter of fact, but everything is a little slow here.
And what do you think you learned from this incarceration?
Well, a lot. My whole life changed because of one incident. It's hard to say what I've learned since I've been here. Everything, a structural environment, how not to talk or say anything. It's just been different for me, learning the judicial system and seeing how much work this country needs in their judicial system. It's definitely been an experience, that's for sure. But I also feel very safe here. I don't want to parole out to a halfway house or anything.
Why not?
I don't feel safe in a halfway house. I'm just scared.
You could say anything to the victim's family. What would you say?
Say that again, please.
If you could address the victim's family, what would you say?
Oh God, I'm so sorry for them. When it first happened, I believed that I shouldn't have been alive. All I could do is apologize. I didn't see anything. I never thought I hit somebody. And it was dark out. He was in black clothes, according to the video, and he wasn't standing up. So it was almost impossible for me to see anything, but my car hit him. So it's still my responsibility.
Well, thank you for answering my questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Pothole. What is it that you've heard about a halfway house that scares you?
Well, nothing's locked. Another girl said that, she was raped at a halfway house. Another girl said when she was sleeping, her hair was cut off. I feel safe here. I'd rather stay here. I mean, I do have a girlfriend's house I could go to, but, for some reason that doesn't work out. I'd rather stay here and just finish my time.
The Voices program is on your OAP. Do you know anything about that program?
I do not.
It's a program that helps people in your situation more fully appreciate the harm experienced by the victims of the crimes that are committed. And I think that would be a really important program for you to take.
Well, that'd be fine. Why didn't they have me go to that?
It's on your OAP. So you
Yeah,
should
there
ask
was-
about it.
Yeah, that's strange because there was nothing on my OAP. That's the first thing that I got sent to go to something was that's this new thoughts thing. Unless that's the same thing, I don't know.
It is not. Those are two different programs.
Okay.
So when you had your mental health evaluation in December, you were going to sponsor to your sister or your sons, but now it's changed. Why?
I don't want to inconvenience my son. His girlfriend moved in with him. And my sister's, she had her son move in with her recently too, so I don't want to inconvenience them.
Right. I'm looking at your OAP. You signed it on September 24th of last year, and it does have addiction services, voices, job, and WARNA. So I hope you'll find a way to participate in that.
I would love to participate in it if they would let me know about it.
Do you have any negative feelings towards
For who?
Dino?
I don't even know who that is.
Your friend who turned in your motor vehicle to the police?
Oh, Michelle? No. I told her to turn the motor vehicle in.
So at this point in the hearing, we're going to turn it over to the Office of Victim Services. Ms. McQueenie, you are not to speak.
Good morning, Madam Chair and board members. I have one of the victims who is on Teams and would like to address you. And then after that, I'll be reading several victim impact statements. This will be your opportunity to unmute yourself, turn on your camera if you wish to do so, and please remember to address only the board members. And you may begin.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to ask that you really speak up because Ms. McQueenie appears to be having trouble hearing.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Thank you.
So I'm Wendy Bryan, his sister. So this tragedy, I'm definitely not in favor for her to be paroled out. I will say that. And like I said, as I said before, I do have to find it in my heart to forgive her because I am a child of God. But what is killing me about the situation is the fact that she's not taking any accountability for the incident. I understand that there's things that's being said about it's a blur about what happened that night. But now we are 18 months in now. So at some point, accountability needs to be taken in. We've taken accountability for the fact that yes, he was at that liquor store. Yes, on the video, it does show him stumbling into the street and him being ran over like a speed bump. I watched the video also. So yes, that is true. Yes, it was dark. Yes, it was raining that day. Because I could never forget that day. I was 6 months pregnant. I'm just finally grieving over my brother right now. So I understand how this situation has changed everybody's life in this situation. Our family has not been the same. My mother has been diagnosed with congestional heart failure since my brother's been going. She has declined from that time. Every day I gotta tell my kids that everything is okay. They're looking at pictures and videos. His niece, his daughter, which is my niece, which you'll hear her statement. I give her the utmost everything because how positive she is about this situation, even though she misses her dad every single day. Like I wish I had that strength. I wasn't even going to get up here and say nothing today. I was just going to let the statements go. But to keep hearing, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. How this happened. It's a lot for me. Like that me and that boy was 11 months apart. We were same age for 27 days. To not get that phone call every year for him to laugh and say, ha, we the same age, it kills me. And we got to keep going on without it. So I understand how everybody's life has changed, but for the victims, it's worse. Like I know we don't have enough time, a lot of time, so I'm just gonna let her read the rest of the statements. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, I am AC. I'm just going to use initials. There's not a day that goes by that I don't miss my dad. He was my superhero, and he was taken from me. He has missed 2 birthdays now. My graduation from the 5th grade, my first middle school play, and my baptism things. He would never miss when it came to me. I don't know how to feel when it comes to you. I just pray that this was a lesson for you. And if God put it in their hearts to let you go, that you go home and change. So no one else will ever have to go through the pain we're going through every day. We have to live with memories instead of making new ones. Thank you, AC. All I got to say is she took my father figure. She took my favorite person. She took my happiness. She took the one person who always put a smile on my face, on everybody's face. She took a good man. It's been a year and 6 months since the life was taken, and there has been so many good times that we had to celebrate without him. Birthdays, graduations, even our cousin's wedding. And even though Christine is in jail, her family can come visit her or wait on her to call them. We can't. We will never hear his voice again. We never get to see his smile again or tell him how much we love him. Even though she had no criminal history, she still left him there to die. She didn't even turn herself in, and evidently she wasn't going to. Instead, she hid. If it was the other way around, he would have stayed no matter his history. He was a good person with a great heart. He was a father, a son, a brother, an uncle. Now he's a memory, a jar on our dressers, a person we will have to grieve until the end of time. Thank you, Madam Chair and board members. This is all that I have for this case.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your facilitating the input. So Ms. McQueenie, give us just a few minutes to discuss your case. Please don't interrupt. Mr. Zarkov.
Well, Ms. McQueenie is here on conviction of evading responsibility, which is rated as a low risk to recidivate. So first arrest and first incarceration. Her position when it comes to the offense is that she did not know that she hit the victim with her car. At the same time, this is a very serious offense. It's a Class B felony where the victim lost his life. Ms. McQueenie has drug and alcohol score of 4. She's not been able to take any programs yet. She's on the wait list and just not comfortable with the discretionary parole here, given that need and not to your program yet. So that's where I am.
Mr. Polk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I appreciate the family's input on this case, and reading the police report, it's tough, and it's obvious that Ms. McQueenie feels horrible about what happened. This isn't a case where somebody was driving down the road and square on the end just hit somebody and killed them, with the front of the car or anything like that. It's a case where the person is seen on video laying in the street with dark clothing at night on a rainy night, I understand how the family feels. I also understand how Miss McQueenie feels. I also understand her concern about going on. She has no criminal history. This occurred when she was 58 years old. It's tough. A family losing their loved one like this we lose anybody that we love and care about. It's a really difficult thing, I think that it's a very tough decision to make. She has a friend to go to in Waterbury. If I look at the case on face value here, it's it's a case where she rates out low. And if I go to the statute, is it, do I believe that she would commit the same offense out there again or another offense? I have 58 years of experience where she had an offense like this. Is her release in the best interest of her and the public? If I keep going back to the point where Miss McQueenie said, I'd rather stay here and finish my time than go out into a halfway house. I could actually go vote for parole or vote to allow her to stay, depending. I'd like to have your put on this as well before finally arrive there.
Okay. I'm glad that after a year since sentencing, she's going to be able to participate in some programming. She has the prospect, if she put it to gain outside employment through the Pursuit program. I'm struggling with the fact that the documents that I read don't correspond to her representation of the events of that night. And that really stands out for me, as does the fact that at sentencing, she didn't say she was sorry, her attorney said it. And as the parole officer pointed out, there was no mention of remorse in the interview. Based on the injury and impact and the input from the victim's family, I'm going to vote to deny Ms. McQueenie discretionary parole release.
I mean, I went with, looking at the police report and seeing the investigating officer's review of videotape in the area.
For me, it was a lot that happened after.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's what got her the evading, that, you know, not stopping, not rendering aid, on top of hitting the individual with their motor vehicle. It's really stands out for me, goes to character, I think. I think a 3-year sentence is to serve is quite remarkable for the loss of life, but offset by the circumstances in this case. So, I have nature and circumstance, injury and impact, inadequate program participation, and evidence of offender change.
Yeah. So action.
So in the matter of Christine McQueenie, inmate number 447528, there is a motion to deny parole for the following reasons: the nature and circumstance of your offense, the injury and impact caused to the victim and the victim's family, your inadequate program participation, and evidence of offender change. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
So by majority vote, Ms. McQueenie, you will go out end of sentence to your 5 years of probation, and we wish you much success.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
This
You're welcome.
is the hearing of we admit 447.
And they deny, and thankfully so. Thankfully, you know, they have a new parole board member. I'll go over his bio in a little bit, Alex Sarkov, and thankfully he's no Mike Pohl. You know, Mike Pohl, it's amazing, is really just always advocating. He always has those rose-colored glasses on. He's always saying, trying to say on her behalf, like, you know, and there's interesting things that are brought up. But as it was said by, I think it was Palmieri, it's not about what happened at the scene of the crime. It's about what happened after. And it's like as if she has ice in her veins. She didn't even say sorry at sentencing. Meanwhile, she killed someone. Imagine if you were driving at night and you found out that you ran over someone's dog. Wouldn't you have more emotion for the dog that you ran over than she is having for the life that he took? Now, you might say, well, she's resentful. What is he doing there? He's ruined my life. I'm not apologizing for anything. And if you want to take that approach, sure, go ahead. But I don't believe, and I don't believe the DOC believed, that she was a little angel driving through the streets, minding her own business, or is what is it? True Crime Warrior says, Angel Bebe Aladdin. You know, minding her own business, and woe is me. And look, I've driven in Connecticut. I've driven in New York. I've driven in those East Coast roads. For those of you who are not familiar with the U.S. highways or U.S. highways in the richest states in America, like Connecticut, they don't take care of the roads. The roads are horrible. If I had to tell you how many tires I have lost driving in the wealthiest city in the world, Manhattan, due to them not fixing potholes, it's insane. It really is. I don't understand how they get away with it, but really, I mean, you still prefer that the potholes be there, because if they want to fix a pothole, it would be 2 weeks of traffic jam, so they can have 5 union workers stand around to watch one union worker try to fill that pothole for 2 weeks straight. So it's like you take it, you take what you can get, but the potholes there are brutal. You can hit a pothole and be like, oh my God, I just really hit something. What did I hit? It must have just been a Connecticut pothole. But again, I don't buy it. I don't buy, her friend said in that news article that she was, slurring her speech. She comes into prison on methadone program. You don't just end up on that program without having a history. And she has a score of 4, with the highest level being 5 for substance abuse. And that was kind of like the big elephant in the room. They're talking about it, but not even addressing it, like saying, why do you have a score of 4? So you take everything, and just from this facts of those cases, I feel like, she's locked up. They can never quite, corner her, and they can never quite say, oh, you have except for her AOP, which says she has a major substance abuse problem, but yet she's not even taking any program. She had to stay in prison. The idea that Mike Pohl, whose entire basis is on substance abuse, like he was a middle school history teacher, but he also was like a substance abuse person, almost. I'm not going to insult Mr. Mirabella by saying like a Mirabella, but he's very, that's his background if you read his bio. And for him not to take someone who is a hit and run that took a life, has an AOP of 4 out of 5 for substance abuse, and to just want to release them because, well, it's her first incident at her age, so that's crazy. Like, it's crazy. The whole thing is crazy that she can get in prison, have a parole hearing, not take any accountability, still deny that she was on and insisting she was sober, not saying she has a substance abuse problem, that not even being brought up. I mean, maybe it was brought up once, but like not being pushed. And it just seems, I think, clear to today that there's something more going on here. It's like, I have to be careful what I say too, right? But I just don't. There's just something more, just based off of the facts brought in front of us, that I don't believe. I'm allowed to say that. I don't believe she was sober, not for one bloody second. And I also don't believe that she turned in the car, that she was trying to play it off. Again, the manipulation. Oh yeah, I told her to do that. No. No, your friend turned it in. And I don't have any more information to go over on this case, but maybe she didn't. Maybe she did not know that she hit a human being, but it's what she did afterwards. But I also want to tell you that I wouldn't be surprised if she knew she hit a human being. That also would not surprise me at all. And I don't really care to give her the benefit of the doubt. So this is the new parole board member, and it on paper, it doesn't look good for us. So he was appointed by the governor, right? And then legislation signed him in May 2025. He was previously served as executive director of Connecticut Sentencing Commission, where he led the commission in its mission to review pre-trial sentencing and post-conviction policies and made policy recommendations to the Connecticut General Assembly. Prior to joining the commission, he worked as the Judicial Branch Court Support Service Division in Connecticut General Assembly. He worked numerous issues affecting the state's criminal legal system, including bail reform, diversionary programs, and narcotic-free zones. Because we all know narcotic-free zones stop narcotics. We all know that. I mean, of course. Voting or disenfranchisement, competency to stand trial, minimum mandatory sentences, cost of incarceration, eyewitness identification, and juvenile sentencing. Look, and like I said, let's allow his decision-making and question. Let's not jump to conclusion. I know off of reading this, I'm assuming that he's part of the light on crime agenda and the problem and why we see horrible crime in these states, in Connecticut. But that would be completely, unfair of me and right, quite hypocritical for me to jump to conclusion based off the record. Maybe he was tough on crime. Maybe all of his outcomes were not in what I'm assuming. Anyways, I think what's important is that we wait and see how he operates as a parole board member. So I am looking forward to seeing it. So far for this case, he was no Mike Pohl.
Lauren Ferraro, 407785.
Thank you. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Lauren Ferraro, unit 407785. She is serving a sentence of 8 years, suspended after 30 months, with 3 years probation for 3 counts of failure to appear first, 1 count of burglary third, and 1 count of forgery first. As of today, records reflect parole eligibility date of May 22nd, 2025. There is no victim input in the case. There is an offender accountability plan that has been reviewed and shows that she is currently in the Tier 2 program. Utilizing the women's risk needs assessment report, the offender's overall score for acidity falls within the moderate range. Ms. Ferraro, this is your opportunity to tell the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Hi, good morning. I want to start by thanking you for this opportunity. I know I'm not entitled to parole, but I'm hoping to continue my life in a healthy way. There's much I wanted to tell you, but I wanted to keep this short. I didn't want to stay here all day with you guys because I knew you wouldn't want to. I wanted to tell you about my life, but I bonded out in August, and I voluntarily did IOP. I engaged in treatment and successfully completed it while giving negative tox screens for the 6 months I was home before I was brought in. I got sentenced on January 30th. I want to continue my sobriety. It's the most important thing to me. And I've realized, being here, I realized my potential. I'm proud of my accomplishments today. And I want to better my life. And while I was here, the second week I was here, I started working rounds on the west side. I worked rounds until I moved to the east side and I began teaching yoga. I'm a yoga instructor at home. That's what I was doing the 6 months that I was clean. While being home, I was engaged in IOP, I was engaged in NA. I actually just got my NA pass, so I did go to NA this past week. I'm in Wilbriety. I teach, I don't know if I said, I teach yoga at the gym on the east side. I have a class every Wednesdays at 1. I'm also the gym worker at this point, because when I moved to the west side, you can't be, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. When I moved to the east side, you can't be a west side grounds worker. So when I moved, I had to change my job. So I started working in the gym almost immediately. So I'm in Wilbriety. I'm in Stride now. And the most important group is my Tier 2. Though I loved NA and I love NA at home, it's very important for me to learn and continue to learn and continue to be sober. So I'm now a happy recovering addict. And I'm ready to be the mother that I was meant to be and my children deserve. My mother is gravely ill and she's not there to catch me when I fall now. She's not going to be there. And I have to, continue my sobriety and grow up. When I get home, I plan to be her caregiver. I'm also going to continue to teach yoga. And I eventually want to own my own yoga studio. My father has already a property that is commercial and residential. And I put together a good enough business plan. He said he would back me on a yoga studio. And I want to just continue this journey of sobriety. I realize I'm worth it. I'm going to be contacting CCAR. I've been in liberation programs. That's where I did my IOP and completed it successfully. And I've been in liberation programs for years. I have a great counselor. I plan on going to CCAR because I've heard wonderful things about them. But to me, my most important thing is that if I can't be sober, I can't be there for anybody that needs me right now. I have a wonderful family and they've always been there for me. And I want to show them. I want to make them proud. They wrote a couple character letters. I don't know if they ever got to you, but they wrote character letters while I was in court, and my attorney was supposed to send them, but I don't know if you actually ended up with them. But they finally believe in me, and as much as when I was growing up, my father never told me he was proud of me. When I was home and I was clean, he told me he was proud of me, and I was being the mother that I need to be. I never missed a game. My kids, football games, cheerleading. I just want to be there for my mother. I want to be there for my children.
So, Ms. Ferraro, we're starting to move into the reasons why you want parole and not the reasons why you believe you deserve parole. Is there anything you want to say with respect to that?
Because of everything I've done here and what I did at home before I got here, I believe that as much as I'm afraid, but what I've done, I believe that I could continue to better myself.
Okay,
Okay, sorry.
that's all right.
I'm very
It's just,
nervous. I'm very nervous.
and we
So
have
sorry.
many other people to see today. So
I'm
we're going to
sorry.
move into the questions that we prepared for you, and we'll begin with my
Okay.
colleague, Mr. Sarkov.
Good morning, Ms. Ferrara.
Good morning.
Would you say it's fair to say that most of your offenses and criminal history have to do with your drug use?
Yes, they do.
What are your drugs of choice?
It was when I got into the car accident, I started Oxycontin, and then I went into heroin and continued. That was my drug of choice. I did do cocaine as well and crack. Those were my drugs of choice. And
Okay.
but
So let's talk about what you've done or in doing to address those issues. You've taken tier 4, I mean tier 2, I'm sorry, you mentioned that.
sorry, tier 2, yes.
You've taken that in the past, right? Did you get anything new out of it this time?
Oh yes, I got.
You've taken tier 4 in the past, I'm sorry.
Tier 2, yes, I was gonna say, I never took tier 2. Tier 2 is my first time. I took tier 4 in the past. I wasn't able to complete it. I was only there a couple of months, but I got a lot from the tier 2 because it's a smaller group, the tier 2. So it was more intimate. And I really enjoyed it. And I enjoy Counselor Cohen's, and she always roots for us. And I have honestly realized that if I don't put my sobriety first, I will lose everything that I don't put. I will lose everything else. Everything that I've tried to accomplish, everything I've gained. And I love to work. I do. And I'm proud of having a job the entire time I was here. I got a job the second week I was here, and I continued to work. And I really enjoy it. I really do. And I want to continue that.
Do you consider yourself an addict?
Excuse me?
Do you consider
Yes,
yourself
I do.
an addict?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I consider myself an addict. Absolutely.
Um,
A recovering addict, but absolutely an addict.
well, what are your plans to keep your sobriety and when you're released?
I'm going back to liberation programs. I am on methadone over there. I have the same counselor that I had the 6 months that I was home. When I was doing well, I'm going to be talking to her actually to be my sponsor because she does sponsor people. I would have to switch counselors, obviously, but she does sponsor people. Then I'm going to go back to IOP and do it again because I need a refresher. I am afraid that if I'm not in NA and IOP, and if I'm not engaged, then I will fall back on my history, on what I've done in the past. So I'm afraid, but if I continue with IOP, with NA, with CCAR, because I wanted to get involved in CCAR, I've heard amazing things about them, and I think I'm worth it. I mean, I didn't for a long time, and I've realized that I am.
Have you done A and NA meetings in the community?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I tried. I did it when I was home for the 6 months. Before that, I had never tried before.
Okay. What about in
It
the
was the first
facility?
time.
What about
in a facility?
What about in the facility? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I have done in the facility. I've done NA. Last time I was here.
How often do you go?
How often do I go? I just got my pass this time, but I go to Wilbrighty, and I go to Wilbrighty is the Native American NA basically. So that I've gone to this entire time I've been here.
Okay.
But NA, I just got my pass. NA, I just got my pass, and in the past, last year I believe it was, I was going to NA. Milton was running it back then, and I was going every Tuesday that they offered it.
Okay. You've listed your mother as a sponsor?
Yes, I have.
What is your relationship like?
Although we fight, she's always been behind me. As much as though she's a very strict Italian mother, she didn't come here until she was 30 years old. But we've gotten better over the years, and now we're close. And she's gravely ill right now, so I want to be there for her, and I want to change. I want to change more for her and the right children. I always thought that she was there. She was there to, whenever I fell, she was there for me. And now that she's sick, she's not going to be there, but my husband will be, and NA will be, and my sober support group will be. There's going to be people in my life, and my father, of course, my father as well.
You planning to go to your father's, the pizza place, right, for employment?
Well, I'm going to go to my dad's pizzeria for, yes, I'm going to be taking care of my mother, and I'm going to be going to the pizzeria for employment, and eventually Acura of Westchester. My brother is the GM there, the general manager, and they have offered me a position either in Acura of Stanford, Subaru of Stanford, Honda of Greenwich, or Acura of Westchester. Those are the four that he owns, not my brother, but the owner. And I did have an interview, and he had said, when I'm ready, so I want to go to my dad's first, and I want to work for a little while until I am ready to go to work for somebody else. I want to start there first.
And with respect to your father, that hasn't been a smooth relationship either, right? In the past. What is your relationship like?
With my father?
What is your relationship like with your father?
It's actually not bad. I mean, we've argued before, but my dad and I never thought he was proud of me. Now my brother has taken over the pizzeria. So technically I would be working for my brother. My father has retired to Florida.
Okay.
He still owns 50% of it. But he's not the primary person there anymore. And my brother and I's relationship is wonderful.
Okay. You've had several opportunities for community release in the past. You failed some of those. What do you think is going to be different this time?
Me working my program. Because as I didn't last time. Last time I went home, I thought I could do it all by myself, and I did for a little while. I didn't think I needed anybody else. I didn't ask for help. I was afraid to ask for help. And now that I am asking for help, I was able to do it for the 6 months that I was home. And I'm going to continue to do it. Without people there to help me, I wouldn't be able to do any of it.
Well, thank you for answering my questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. I'm so sorry. I'm very nervous.
So you had, by my count on probation, 10 positive drug screens, multiple for fentanyl and marijuana. And you told the probation officer that the synthetic marijuana you smoked must have been laced with the fentanyl.
This was years ago. When was this?
This was in 2021.
So yes, I was still getting high. I was still getting high in 2021. Yes. I was an addict. I was a full-blown addict.
So you were aware that your recreational use of marijuana was putting you in great danger because it was mixed with fentanyl?
I did. I realized it. And I continued to do it because I was addicted to it at the point. I was addicted to it at that point, and I continued to. And I wasn't the mother I should have been, and I wasn't the daughter I should have been. And I am very, very.
Well, I mean, it's remarkable that you're still with us. That was still is a crazy dangerous substance, and it was clear that on probation you had no intention to work with your probation officer or participate in helping yourself. Do you understand the difference between probation and parole?
Yes, I do. Well, I believe I do. I was on parole before. I've never paroled before. I was on TS, so I did have a parole officer, and I know it's more strict. And one time, and I'm back, and I don't want that. I need to be there for myself, for my family.
Well, you're right. Parole officers have arrest powers, so you violate your conditions, and you do have 4.5 years of this sentence hanging over your head when you go out to 3 years of probation, and you should be aware of that, because if you violate, the judge could make the decision that you serve all that time. That's what the suspended part means. it's
Thank you
still
for
there.
clearing that.
It's
Thank
not
you.
going anywhere. So I'm glad that you've gotten to a place where you've invested in yourself and you believe in yourself, because the path of destruction that you were on, remarkably dangerous. So, you've done well with no DRs and your involvement there in the facility. I really wish you could have been in tier 4, but you did a lot of good work coming into prison with your recovery. And I am pleased to hear that you want to do meetings, MAT, work with a sponsor, and engage in CCAR, because it really does need to be comprehensive. Can you tell me what your priorities are?
Myself, my children, my family, my mother right now, my husband. But my first priority is to stay clean. That is my first priority, because without that, I won't have anything else.
Okay. So, recovery is a journey, not a destination. So if you falter, and that can be part of recovery, I would encourage you not to consider, that throwing it all away. You can get back on the right path. So oftentimes people, when they struggle and have a setback, just take off. They run from parole, they run from responsibilities, and you just go for broke back into using. And I wouldn't want to see that happen for you or for your children. So having a relapse prevention plan is critical, but also appreciating that you can ask for help at any point in your journey, and there'll be supports there for you. So, all right, that concludes the questions that we have for you, Ms. Ferraro. If you'll give us just a few minutes to discuss your case.
Thank you very much. Thank you
We'll
for
get back
hearing
to
me.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for hearing me out.
We
Thank
need you to sit quietly while we talk. Okay, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Ferraro is here on a number of offenses, including burglary third, forgery in the first degree. Her whole history and criminal behavior seem to be driven by her drug use for a number of years now. A bit concerned that she may be going back to the same environment, but she has been working to address those issues. She appears to be on the right track. She's done a number of things in the community before she was incarcerated. She's done tier 2, no tickets in the facility, and I would be willing to support her discretionary parole.
Mr. Cole? Okay. What kind of conditions do you have for her supervision?
I just had no alcohol consumption and kind of conditions.
Interesting. Alcohol is the only drug I didn't list that she has abused. I have mental health evaluation and treatment. Did you have no alcohol? Okay, so we'll skip that one, and we can use that as a graduated sanction if needed. But if she's committed to a recovery, alcohol shouldn't be an issue anyway. So in the matter of Lauren Ferraro, inmate number 407785, there's a motion to grant parole on or after today's date of September 19th, 2025, with the condition that she participate in mental health evaluation and treatment as deemed necessary. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Parole is granted. It won't be today, obviously, because they'll need to contact your mother and do a home visit and all of that kind of stuff. But you can let her know, and you'll get all this in writing.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Here for more for 477.
Thank you.
And they granted, and I don't know about this case. This is just weird. And we're going to watch another one where in this case, she was involved in dealing and her arrest came up because someone died as a result of it. So a little bit different because there was a death versus the case that we just saw. But I don't know. It's hard to me. It's like you kind of just rely on your senses, and I just didn't feel that she actually was ready, and I still didn't feel that it was pure honesty. And one thing, and maybe it's the parole board member's fault too. I can't. Is it Barry or is it Paige? I think it's Barry, right? So she says, at one point, you kept testing dirty for Fetty, and you were telling your parole officer that it was a synthetic marijuana that you were smoking that was laced with it. And she's like, yeah, that's it. I didn't know, but by that time I was hooked. And it's like, and the parole officer's like, you see how dangerous it is when you smoke stuff that you don't know what's in it? And it's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? You like, how can you be so naive? She knew what she was smoking. She knew what she was taking Fetty. She's just lying to her parole officer. And still to this day, she should have said it. She should have said it in this hearing. I was being dishonest. I knew what I was doing. But I don't know. It's like it's like the parole board member. It's like she was born yesterday. I don't really get it. I mean, but outside of this hearing, it's just... I have nothing more to share with you. I didn't get the sense that she was ready. I really didn't. Not locked up long enough. Really not. I would love to hear them really get into more details of what it is that you actually learned. I mean, okay. Anyways, let's jump into this next hearing.
Can you please state your name and inmate number for the record?
Good morning. I'm Julie Kozlowski, 437375.
Thank you. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of parole application for Julie Kozlowski, inmate number 437375. She is serving a sentence of 10 years suspended after 5 years probation, possession of intent, failure to appear first, and violation of probation, criminal possession of a firearm, and the issue or defense weapon as the underlying offense. As of today, records reflect parole eligibility date of August 4th, 2025. There is no victim input in the case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender that has been reviewed, shows the offender has completed anger management, tier 4, and people empowering people. Utilizing the women's risk needs assessment, the offender's overall score for recidivating falls within the moderate range. Ms. Kozlowski, this is your opportunity to tell the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Okay. My addiction has stolen a lot from me throughout my life. It stole my self-esteem, my self-worth, my family, friends, children, jobs, my morals, and I could even go as far to save my soul. I've hurt a lot of people, not only loved ones who were close to me, but people who were unrelated to me, people who fell victim to my thoughtless actions and selfish needs. These people's families were worried while they overdosed on illegal substances from my hands, and I have to live with that. I recently lost my sister to an overdose, and now I have a perspective from both ends. It's not safe. My addiction has kept me unaware for a very long time. Being incarcerated has become a true blessing in disguise. I do believe that everything happens for a reason, and this is the first time in my life that I'm genuinely grateful. I'm finally aware of my behaviors and the consequences they'll lead to, along with pain and suffering caused to myself and others. Today, I'm grateful for life, for my mother, my family, my sobriety, and that I have the ability to think before I act. And I was fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to participate in and graduate from the Marilyn Baker program as an elder. I'm an applicant to become the next peer mentor ally, and I've worked through many groups that have helped me to find myself. Grief and loss, trauma and healing, anger management, houses of healing, to name a few. I found a new purpose for life. I'm ready to work for my recovery, be a productive citizen, and my ultimate goal is to be the mother my children need. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to prepare that. I hope you'll hang on to it, perhaps read it from time to time. Might be pretty grounding, and maybe as your children get a little older, you'll be able to share it with them.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, have you been able to take any kind of parenting program while you're incarcerated?
Yes, I did take a parenting class with the doctor on the west side. I completed that. I still have the packets of information I keep with me to bring home. I've gone to court a few times. I was granted phone calls with my children, but their father still continues to not cooperate. So I'm just waiting for further action to be continued with that.
What will be the next step?
I'm waiting for the judge to serve my kid's father for a next court date for contempt. And I'm just waiting to be in contact, really. It's been a difficult process, especially from being incarcerated. I have less control. So hopefully, you know, when I get out of here, I can hire an attorney and do things more on my own, because it's hard to get in contact with people while I'm in here.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you're doing it through the proper channels.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't, all sorts of fallout, negative consequences could land on you. So keep that in mind. So did I understand that you wanted to sponsor to your mom's home in Florida?
That's correct, yes.
Where are the kids?
The kids are with their father. They're here in Waterford, Connecticut. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to have contact with them for a few years. So I wanted to have a stronger, more supportive foundation to begin after being incarcerated for a couple years. I feel like the safest place for me to go would be with my mother. She has her own home, and there I could start building a recovery foundation with my family instead of being here where I don't have much support. And then go about the connection with my children. There's no connection with them at this time.
Is Florida a fresh start? Have you ever lived there with your mom, or is this going to be brand new?
This will be brand new, fresh start. I visited, but I have not lived there.
Talk to me about your relapse prevention plan.
Okay, so during these last 10 months, since I've been able to do the program, I have been through a lot of groups, a lot of NAAA meetings. I was lucky to do CCAR. So when I leave here, I really want to continue my certifications for the recovery coach, be able to help people. I'm going to do intense therapy. I've gotten to do some sound healing, a lot of meditation, a lot of grounding exercises. I need stress management. So I have an outlook of where I want to start there. And the program offered houses of healing, and that really opened my eyes to myself. Like, I know that I have personal issues that I need to work on, and it's not the people around me, that it's me. And I didn't see that before. So I want to do a lot of therapy with myself as part of my relapse prevention plan. And then, you know, reconnecting with my family members that I've been pushing away for so long. A lot of reconnection. I've really been isolated.
Have you done NA and AA out in the community in the past?
Yeah, I have. I had about, the last clean time I had was about a year. I want to say it was
a sponsor.
I had a sponsor, but I wasn't serious about it. I didn't call her all the time. I just pretty much attended meetings. I listened, but I didn't participate as much as I do now. So now I'm focused. I know what to look for, and I know that I have to raise my hand and participate no matter what, even if I'm uncomfortable.
What about step work? Have you tackled any of that?
No. I never got into it. Like I said, I showed up, but I didn't do the work until now. now I know how I need to participate and do
Right.
the step work. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to doing that.
Well, do you appreciate that the steps are the foundation
Oh,
of
absolutely.
of the NA and AA programs? So
Yes.
it's more than just sitting in meetings and listening and sharing, but it's actually working on yourself using the 12 steps?
Absolutely, yes. I know that there's far more than just sitting there and listening.
Because some meetings
there's-
are specifically step meetings. Like some
Yeah.
meetings are speaker meetings, some meetings are all women meetings. So there's lots you can sample out in the community, even in Florida. Is
And
there
there's
a comparable C-card in Florida? Have you looked into that?
I think CCAR is just Connecticut, but the
Yeah.
recovery coach is, nationwide.
Okay.
So there'll always be, the recovery coaches everywhere. And they offer different meetings like ARM, the All Recovery. But I know that there's more to recovery than just sitting there. There's always going to be participation. And the step work is more spiritually based also. And that's something that I'm on a journey to as well.
Good. My colleague will tell you perhaps, that CCAR is two things. It's, training and becoming a recovery coach to offer support to others and give back to your community, but it's also having a recovery coach. So, experiencing it from both sides, especially if you're new in your recovery and new upon return to the community, finding a network of people living in recovery will support you being successful in your own, right?
Okay, yes.
So you were in a sober house before. When was that?
The last time that I was in a sober house was 2020. It was during COVID, and it was like a sober halfway house, SCAD in New London, Connecticut, and I was there for 6 months.
You relapsed in that program. Do you know why?
Well, I relapsed when I left there. I went back into an old relationship around the holidays, and I think I was just in my head. I couldn't see my kids at that time, and I was with my ex-boyfriend, and I got the effins and I took off. And then it was just an ongoing road. And 3-4 years later, I ended up in here.
One bad decision, huh?
Yeah. There was really no excuse. There was no excuse. It was just because I was bored and I didn't want to think about what I was thinking about.
Are you in a relationship with Henry still?
No. No, I'm not. I stopped talking to him probably 4 or 5 months into my sentence. And he contacted me a couple times, but he had his family members contacting me, but then I decided that it just wasn't a good idea, and I disconnected from all of his friends and family, and I don't want anything to do with him. No. I'd rather deal with the pain of letting go of the past and just move forward, because I realize that my worth is much better. I have more to look forward to than what I went through with him.
When Officer Bosford interviewed you, he prepared a report for us that goes along with the other documents, pre-sentence investigation, police reports, etc., that we have to read. And there's an indication regarding the violation of probation that you were in a substance abuse program and working, but you relapsed and were kicked out of the sober house you were staying in. So do you perhaps have the facts a little backwards?
That was, I was thinking about that. When I left SCAD, I went to a sober house from there. So that was a sober house that I got kicked out of in Norwich.
Thank you for clearing that up. It's
sorry about that.
Important that we're accurate and honest as can be.
Yeah. Yeah, I left SCAD and I went to the Norwich sober house, and that's when I reconnected with Henry and I got kicked out of that sober house and went back with him.
And the tasers were his?
Yeah, we had gotten his and hers, and we both were charged with the same charge. And you know, I took the charges for that, yeah.
So as a convicted felon, you can't possess firearms or ammunition.
Right.
Or state and federal law. I'm sure that also applies in Florida.
Yes, don't plan on that.
Good. Okay. So do you have any thoughts about, you know, as you return to the community and you know, are on probation and you create some stability for yourself of how you're going to get back for the harm that you've caused over the years with your choices and your crimes?
How am I going to give back for this? I think that by me continuing to stay out of trouble, by being a good person, working, paying my taxes, you know, doing the next right thing, continuing my recovery, volunteering, being a productive citizen. Those are all ways of giving back. Connecting with my family and proving my honesty and that I have changed and I don't want to do the things that I was doing in the past, you know, because I'm sure that people are rooting for me to do better, but they're probably also thinking I'm going to continue to do the same thing I've been doing for the last 20 years. So to show that my behaviors really have changed, that's really important also.
It's going to take a lot of time to build that trust back up because a lot of it's been destroyed. So you'll have to be patient with them, you know. They're going to be looking for any indication that you are back to your old ways. So so really what I heard you describe to me is being a productive member of society, you know, paying taxes and, you know, abiding by our laws and, you know, kindness, that sort of thing. So where I was looking for in terms of giving back, you know, is more like believing in karma and the fact that, you know, you've contributed to a lot of harm. You even said so in your opening statement, with your thoughtless actions and selfishness hurting a lot of people. So you know, you did mention volunteering, and I would encourage you to create a strong plan when you're at a place that you're stable enough that you can give of your time, your talents, and your energy to, you know, sort of put things back in balance. Because, you know, if nothing else, that'll be restorative to you and the soul that you talked about being damaged over the years. So I hope you'll find ways to do that, and you can combine it with your own interests, right? Hobbies and volunteering in that way. So thank you for talking with me, Ms. Kowalski. I'm going to pass the opportunity on to Mr. Zarkov.
I don't.
Oh, okay. Mr. Pothole, any questions?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess it was all me.
Okay, thank you.
So give us just a few minutes to talk about you and your situation, and then we'll get back to you.
Okay.
So, Ms. Kowalski, this is her first period of incarceration greater than a year, and she has not had any disciplinary issues, and that has afforded her the opportunity to participate in a lot of programming. She got an excellent evaluation in anger management. She comes before us having completed Tier 4, which is really the premier program DOC has for helping people address addiction and recovery. She has 5 years of probation to follow this sentence, and has just passed her eligibility date last month. She has a reasonable release plan. Was her mother confirmed, Officer Boster? And her recovery plan is pretty solid and multifaceted. So she's, prepared to take care of her mental health needs through therapy, meditation, and knows how to build a network for herself to support her success in recovery. I would be prepared to grant her discretionary parole today. Your thoughts?
So would I.
Okay. She has a co-defendant for the current charge, and an underlying co-defendant who will be a general no contact. Anything else you would like to stipulate?
No. Just 3.
Okay. Any thoughts?
Out of state, halfway.
Yeah.
That'll be fine with me.
All right. So in the matter of Julie Kuzalski, inmate number 437375, there is a motion to grant parole on or after today's date of September 19th, 2025, with the following conditions for her supervision. She's to have a mental health evaluation and engage in treatment as deemed necessary. We're going to parole her to the state of Florida with a halfway house placement as needed. She's to have no contact with her co-defendant, Joseph Salamino, and a general no contact with Henry Badillo. Do I have a second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Even though it's a day or after date, they'll need some time to communicate and process you for an out-of-state parole.
Okay.
So be patient.
Okay. Thank you.
This concludes the hearing. It's not skipping. 737.
Just like that, she is paroled, and you would have no idea that someone died as a result of her sale and distribution, or maybe it's not in the books that way, and that's why they don't bring it up. Although we have seen plenty of parole hearings where it's still brought up, even if it wasn't the underlying conviction. I mean, I'm looking at the articles here that says 2 people were charged in Connecticut with an overdose death in Norwich. Police arrested Joseph Salamino, her co-defendant, and Julia Koslowski on a long list of narcotic charges, including Fetty possession. Detectives investigating the recent death searched Salamino and Carlos's street home. They said that they found more than 100 bags of Fetty, Pepsi, other narcotics paraphernalia, And what was it? I think like $25,000 in cash. I mean, it was by no means, I'm looking at the picture here of the bust, a small bust. And someone died, but there's just like no mention of that. And again, her official paper doesn't say that that's what she's locked up for. You know, it's but there you have it. I mean, $28,000 in cash, or $27,974 to be exact. And I don't have empathy for dealers at Self-Eddy. People die. I think we all know someone who died from some, dealer, and it's just. But I guess that's why she was sentenced 8/2/2023. Her full term date's 2/3/2028. The bust happened in 2019, and I think she was on bond. So did you get another takeaway from these hearings, what I see is that, like, the DOC in Connecticut, they don't really seem to focus that much on rehabilitation. I mean, they don't drill in and really ask. They're just like, it's like, oh, like, oh, what type of oh, you took CCAR. Okay. Well, did you do 12 steps? Oh, I heard about 12 steps. I know it's like this, but I don't really know much about it. Oh, there's nothing. There's really nothing. Like, what's your plan? Are you going to do 30 over 30? Are you going to do 90-day something? Are you going to do, and it's just the craziest thing to me. And did I forget to mention it in the last hearing? Let me see. Hold on a second. Yeah, I don't think I mentioned it, so I'm going to have to mention it now. They said they didn't even have no alcohol as a condition on the woman whose hearing came before. How insane is that? I mean, it's like as if how? You can simply have no alcohol while you're on parole, but they're like, well, actually, we see this person who has clear problem with substance abuse, but we never seen alcohol as a written offense. So it's okay. She can drink alcohol. And if we have to, we'll graduate it to, if she starts violating. And that is just so insane. Anybody with like two brain cells stirred up together can know that an addict, if you tell an addict, hey, you can't have this, but you can have that, they're probably going to go and have that, aren't they? And then when they do that, it's going to lead them down to what they on the other stuff. It's just so crazy. It's like this is it though. You get to see the DOC and the inner works. It's really how there's no focus on rehabilitation. They don't challenge them at the parole hearings about what they've learned, what their plan is. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do 90 and 90. I already have my recovery coach set up, and it's all set up. Everything's good. These are my plans, and this is what I'm going to do. Instead, it's like just nothing. There's nothing there, in my opinion. I don't know. Let's see if we'll see them back. They're on special parole on paper for quite some time. So if we do, they'll be in the return of playlist. And many of you also telling me, Mandoo, I see this in the comment section. I didn't know you're still posting. Or Mandoo, why have you stopped posting Louisiana hearings? And I say, guys, I have two channels. First of all, I post every day, Sunday through Thursday, and usually Friday and Saturday, but it's religiously Sunday through Thursday on both channels. And Louisiana is only on channel 1, Mandoo 1. So make sure you're subscribed to both. Make sure you have the notification bell on. And with that, I'll let you go.
It's been a year and 6 months since the life was taken, and there has been so many good times that we had to celebrate without him. Birthdays, graduations, even our cousin's wedding. And even though Christine is in jail, her family can come visit her or wait on her to call them. We can't. We will never hear his voice again. We never get to see his smile again or tell him how much we love him. Even though she had no criminal history, she still left him there to die. She didn't even turn herself in, and evidently she wasn't going to. Instead, she hid. If it was the other way around, he would have stayed no matter his history. He was a good person with a great heart. He was a father, a son, a brother, an uncle. Now he's a memory, a jar on our dressers, a person we will have to grieve until the end of time.